gentlemen, grab your tea and get ready for Tea Talk, where the topics are real, relevant, and relaxing. It's Tea Talk time, and here's Lady O.
Thank you, Tracy. Well, hello there, and welcome to Tea Talk. I am so happy to see you again today, and we have a show for you today. Let me ask you a question, because I have one of these days today and been having one a couple of days this week. Have you ever had a day when you just felt like you were on a roller coaster? You know how the roller coaster's going, and you think you're going really well, and it jerks you around this way, and then it goes down, and then it's up, and then it drops you down again. Okay. You know, one of those days when you just felt like, I know I'm doing a lot of things, but I'm not getting anything done, and I can't focus. Anybody have any problems focusing? Come on, don't leave me out here by myself. And it's not about age, okay? Because I got some young people I know that they can't focus, they can't remember. So I wanted to just ask you those questions, because if you're having any struggles, you know, with your mind, your body, your soul, your journey, just trying to make it from day to day, and I think if truth be told, if y'all would just tell me the truth, that everybody has had one of those days. Has anybody had one of those days? Okay. Thank you, Marsha. I see Marsha said yes. Shelly said I have. Thank y'all for being honest. Yeah, and Mickey. See, I told you I had one of those days. There's Miko. I'm looking at her name wrong here. So Miko says yes, and Flair says many. So I'm trying to read my comments here. But like I've already told you, I had one of them days today where I just couldn't focus, and my time, I felt like you're not accomplishing anything. You're not, you should be further along. You should be doing this, and I just can't keep anything straight. So you end up going like in circles. Well, what about this one? Have you ever felt like every year in January, I try to lose weight, and here I am, and it's March, and I haven't lost a pound. As a matter of fact, I think I've gained 1 or 2 pounds, and I'm just so disgusted with myself. Anybody else, raise your hand, put it in the chat room. Come on, I know I'm not by myself. You know, so anyway, I'm having one of those days, and I just wanted you to know that I may not be on my best today because I'm just not there. But the good news is I've got some ladies who are going to keep it real with us today, because they've had those days, and they're going to tell us how to be successful. Now, listen, one of them deals with holistic medicine and those kind of things, and teas and things like that. And the other one is a pharmacist. So she deals with the other part. So I have told both of them they're going to have to keep it real with us and tell us how to get through these days. What can we take? What can we do? And we don't want to just be going through the motions or having days like this. So we're going to hear their stories. They have some wonderful testimonies. And one has a very serious disease, and you would not know it by looking at her. You would not be able to tell which one it is, but she's going to tell us how to get through that. I think she said it's autoimmune disease. So why don't you call your friends and tell them, hey, y'all need to get on, because I know you've had these days. This sounds like you. So, because we said we will not break down, right, ladies? We are not going to break down. We're going to figure it out, and we're going to feel better. And when we feel better, we find out what the other person took or did. We're going to share it, and we're going to all get better. Can I get an amen in the house? All right. So the first one, and they both want to go by their first name, so I'm going to do that, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but they're going to come on now and tell us everything. So get your questions ready, okay? Get your questions ready, okay? The first one is Joyce, and Joyce is going to come on and tell us her story. She has a wonderful testimony, and she is so beautiful. Joyce, welcome to Tea Talk Time. There she is. That's my Joyce. But I can take Enrica first if she wants to go first, but that's Enrica. So you've seen her and you've seen Joyce, and can you put Joyce on?
Okay.
Okay. Now, let me ask you first, which one of these ladies put in the chat room, one of them has the MS, the autoimmune disease. Put down which one you think. Aren't they both just so beautiful? Which one do you think? Put it in there and see if you're going to be right. So don't tell them yet. We're going to tell them at the very end, okay, of the talk. All right. So this one is Sister Joyce. And Joyce, if you will just say hello to Tea Talk Time.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Lady O, for having me here. I am so thankful for you inviting me and just being inviting me to share my story. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm excited about Tea Talk and just the ladies that we are going to hear from. So yeah, this is awesome.
Amen. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm Joyce Mirandas. I live in Houston, Texas, but I'm originally from Kenya, for those who are trying to wonder about my accent. And I've lived here for several years, and I am a wellness coach and also a mindset coach. And then also I run an organization called Breaking Limitations here in the Houston area, but we reach to people in all over the world. Actually, we're not just limited to United States.
Very good. You know, I was in Kenya years ago. It must have been over 10 years ago. And I did a women's conference there. And do you know that I got a phone call last week from the lady that was there that hosted it? I was like, oh my God, I guess it's about time for me to go back to Kenya.
Yeah.
But she remembered the conference that many years ago. And I honestly do not remember specifically, because I met so many really nice, wonderful ladies over there. But that's funny that you said that, but I love Kenya. We really had a great time there. So awesome. You have, I know, two children, two beautiful kids.
Yes, I have. Yes. You faded a little, but I have a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Oh my goodness. Claire's 9?
Yeah, she's 9 going on 16. Luke is 5 going on 10.
Oh my goodness, they are adorable too. I know. Wow. So we are so happy to have you, and I love them. They're just amazing on their own. And your husband, she's married to Pastor Canuthia, Phineas Canuthia. I hope I pronounced that right. But so, you know, and I've heard a little bit of your story over the years, because we've known each other for what, I guess before Claire. So that's been 10 years before ago. So so tell us about your testimony. Do you want to show your pictures first? I guess tell your testimony first, and I'll show the picture.
Okay, yeah. So before I had my daughter, I was pretty healthy and everything. And then as soon as I had her, the first when I came home, I had a C-section. So when I came home, I fell ill, and I had to go back to the hospital. And it became, and then after some time, I was discharged from the hospital. Then I had to go back again. And so, to cut the long story short, I had blood pressure issues that could not be controlled. And so I had to be put on 4 different medications for them just to be able to control the blood pressure. And so that's just when my health started going downhill. And then after the blood pressure, also I had just I gained a lot of weight. I was depressed. I didn't have energy. I was trying to raise my child, to be there for my child, but I was just having so many medical issues. And after some time, my primary doctor sent me to a cardiologist to be checked. And the cardiologist said he couldn't find anything wrong with me because I was having problems breathing. I couldn't even, I had to sleep with like 4 pillows in order just to be able to sit up. So I was having a really hard time breathing. And because of that, I was also afraid of dying. So I used to be afraid of sleeping. So I never used to sleep a lot. I would just sit up and stay up for a long period of time because I was afraid of, if I sleep, I might not be able to breathe, and then I might die. And I have this little baby that I'm trying to raise. And I was afraid that my daughter was not going to see me. I was afraid I wasn't going to raise my daughter.
Yes.
And so just with having all that anxiety and fear, it made me very, I was always afraid. And of course, it's like the enemy took an opportunity there to just have that spirit of fear. So I was always afraid of so many different things, afraid of small things, and just going on and
anxiety.
On. Yeah, I had
that was like an anxiety attacks. I've had those too.
Yeah, I would be so afraid of just so many. I was afraid of so many things, and then now, and then my mom had passed away like a few years, just like almost like a year before, and she had been terminally ill for a long period of time, and so all the symptoms she used to have, I was seeing them in me. And it made me feel like I'm just gonna die like her. I'm gonna get all those sicknesses that she had, and I won't be able to see my child grow up. And so with all that going on in my mind, even when the doctor tells you, okay, you need to try and lose weight, or you need to try to rest so that you don't raise your blood pressure, you need to do this XYZ. I couldn't do any of those. I tried, but I couldn't do it. So the only thing that could work was the medication. And so,
wow. And anxiety, and I think that's what a lot of, well, number one, I'm hearing that a lot of African-American women, after they have babies, they're starting to have this blood pressure thing to the point that a lot of them are even losing their lives. I know my daughter had blood pressure problem. They had to take her back to the hospital after her baby was born. I never heard of this before, so I don't know if it's medication we're taking or what, but anxiety, I guess, to get that back.
I think we had all the pressure and everything before, and we were just maintaining. But now when you get pregnant, the pregnancy strains your body, and when your body doesn't know what to do, then you get all these different symptoms that come up. And we think those symptoms are coming up because of the pregnancy, but it's just because we had a lot of stresses before, different things going on, not taking good care of ourselves, not doing self-care and all that. And so when you get pregnant and you have a baby, then your body is just in shock. And so those are some of the things that affect a lot of African-American women.
You know, and you said something a minute there, which I think is so true. And I think it's women in general, because we tend to hold things inside. We have unresolved issues and emotions and things going on. And then when that baby comes in, with all the hormones and things going on and the duties and the fears and the unknowns, then I think it kind of elevates and kind of kicks in and to reveal, hey, there's something here that has not been dealt with. And so now you get something that's worse than what it was before. So you did you have to just take anxiety medicine, or what did the doctor?
No, I never took anxiety medication, but my doctor, I took, just because I was already taking a lot of blood pressure medication, and I was trying to also breastfeed. So my doctor didn't want to give me anything outside of that. But what he recommended was, first he told me I needed to exercise, and he told me to try and exercise, but that was really hard because my mindset wasn't there to even exercise and all that. Yeah. So I ended up just staying on the medication, and I stayed on the medication for 7 years. I stayed on the medication. Yeah, I stayed on the medication for 7 years until there was a time I was really trying to lose weight, and I didn't want to be on this medication for the rest of my life, because the doctors had said you'll be on this medication for the rest of your life. And so when I started trying different things, of course, I did what everybody does. We try all these like Weight Watchers, you try all this Jenny Craig, you order different foods from different places. I got a trainer, someone who helped me for a little bit. When I stopped using the trainer, of course, the weight came back. So it was just, I was in a roller coaster. And I remember I got one of my good friends, she's also a wellness coach. She told me the only way you'll be able to actually change your life is by changing your mindset. She said everything, because she told me, you've tried everything that's there to try. I had a gym membership. I had a trainer that was paid, but I just wasn't going. So
because the mindset was not to go and to do what he tells you to do. So you're paying, throwing money away.
I was just throwing money away because I was paying, because I was like, you know what, this time I'm gonna go. Or you set those goals at the beginning of the year and say, I'm gonna do this and all that. But I just wasn't going because my mindset wasn't there. And so when my coach told me, when my coach told me that you just need to have because she had created a meal plan for me. She told me you need to eat this amount of carbohydrates, this amount of vegetables.
I've had those too.
Yeah, and nothing was
It didn't.
I had all. For me, it was not for lack of trying. I tried, but I came to a place where I kind of gave up. I felt like, you know what, maybe this is just not for me. I'll just, this is just how life is going to be for me. But when my coach told me about mindset, I'd never really heard of that. Everybody used to tell me what to eat, tell me how to exercise, maybe run a certain number of miles and all that, but no one said I needed a mindset change. So when she told me that, I became curious, like, what exactly does that mean? And I started researching on mindset and just different things. And I came across, and I know a lot of people know her, like Dr. Caroline Leaf, and then also Dr. Joe Dispenza. These are Dr. Daniel Amen. These are neuroscientists that focus on studying the brain. How does your brain work? Because I came to realize, until I figure out my mindset or how my brain works, if there's something that needs to be turned on, a switch that needs to be turned on or off, because I just wasn't doing what I'm supposed to do for me to get the results. And yet I wanted to get off medication. I wanted to lose weight and all that.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, that's what all of us want. We want to get off medication. Can I get an amen? We want to lose weight. We want to feel better. We don't want to be anxious and those kind of things. But you want to do that. So how did you change your mindset? Did it take months of her coaching you? And how did you do that?
So now it took a process of me learning, because I did a lot of research on my own. So now I can give someone like all the information right here that they can use. But before, for me, it just came as I just started researching a lot, like with Dr. Caroline.
Okay, you got to stop here a minute because they got your picture up there. Okay,
oh, okay.
Your before picture. And I think I saw you a couple times when you were a little bit heavier than that. That's a really good before picture. But I think you were a little, right after you had Luke or one of them, you were heavier than, is that your heaviest?
My heaviest was like, 220. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was a good picture, black as sunrise. And then look at you on the right-hand side. Oh my goodness, you look beautiful. How long did it take you to get from picture A before to this picture here?
I think it took almost like a year and a half. Yeah, because the first, we can say like for the first 6 months, mostly I was researching and all that, doing on and off. But then eventually when I kind of understood what I needed to do, maybe it took like almost a year to get there. A
year. And so in that year, first you had to get your mind right. Okay, and get those emotions and everything under control. And getting the mind right, when you got it right, you knew it was right when you were able to focus, or you thought good about yourself. How did you know when your mind was right?
So when it came to mindset, it's just the first thing was to understand that I am important, because I realized women, with everything else is important, but we don't.
Okay.
Yes, we don't value ourselves. So I realize I'm the most important person in my life. And if I'm not okay, then I cannot take care of anybody else. So every duties that I had, if it's duties as a parent, or if it's duty as an employee, as a business person, all those things depend on me to be well. And so when I came to the realization that I'm the most important person, then I had to start treating myself like I'm important. And so that comes, and it came with also just me understanding that I'm loved and I'm valued by God, and God wants the best for me, because I think sometimes there are things we do, and we are doing them because we want to receive affirmation from outside, or we want to receive love from outside. Because sometimes you'll find someone is overworking, they go and work so hard, but it's because they want someone to tell them good job, so that they're getting what they need, like affirmation from outside, instead of actually getting it from inside, where I have to just know that whether I work or I don't work, whether I do a good job or I don't do a good job, I am valuable. I'm deserving to be happy. I'm deserving I'm loved by God. And I think for me, I always say God pursued me, because the only thing he kept telling me was, Joyce, I love you. Whether you are leading something like with the women's ministry or whatever, or whether you're not doing anything, I love you. Whether you have, and it took a lot for me to believe that I'm just loved and I don't have to perform, because a lot of times I was performing so that was performing because I wanted to be loved. So I
Right.
had to do what people expected of me so that I could receive their love. And that all comes from just dealing with my childhood, how when you're many kids, the only way you can get attention is when you do something spectacular. So
Right.
you grow up that way. And so when I talk about mindset, it's dealing with those things inside. Like everybody has
yourself.
different issues. Yeah, different issues going on with them. Some people, the happiest time, like I have a client who the happiest time they ever had growing up was when they used to bake cakes with their grandmother, and then they had a rough childhood. So now they eat a lot of sugar because they want to get that feeling that they felt when they were young. And so
Trying to
when
get
you
that
don't,
high again. Yeah, you're
yes,
addicted to
and
pleasing others.
yeah, so when you don't, so that's why even before you start talking about diet and you talk about exercise, someone has to take a moment to just reevaluate like who am I, like what is my thought process. And that's why I'm also a mindset coach, to help someone think through those things, because we are all different. We all have different childhoods. We all have different things. Some people just feel like some people are workaholics because all their lives were told, if you don't work hard, money does not grow on trees, XYZ and all that. So they just have to work hard and they don't take care of their body. And so their body breaks down because of just a lot of just wear and tear, of lack of not taking care of themselves.
Wow, you have said a lot. So I know that you're going to give us your information at the end about your program that you have, which is, I think, is awesome. And I think you're absolutely right, because what really happens to women is we put everybody else ahead of us because we're seeking affirmation. We want them to like us. We want them to say you did good. And we had last year, the conference, our women's conference in July. You guys save the date, the third week in July. And the year before last, I never forget that when we were doing this exercise, remember Jenna Lynn? She was coming in and exercising with us, and what all the women pretty much as a group was saying that I feel like I'm not enough. I feel like I'm not enough for my children. I'm not enough for my husband. I'm not enough for my mother. I'm not enough for my job. So we get that burden. We are not enough. And so when we do that, what you just said a minute ago, we got to say, God loves me, even if I don't head the women's ministry, even if I don't, be with kids 24/7 and take them to Chuck E. Cheese every day. We are enough. We need to stop looking for affirmation from others and understand that we are enough.
Yes,
that we are loved.
And I always say, other than just saying that I'm enough, because a lot of people, like when you say I'm enough, people also in your brain, because of your experiences, your brain tells you you're not enough. We already know you're not enough, but I'm enough because I have God with me. Yes. And the parts where I'm lacking, God is going to fill those parts to make me enough for what I need to do or for who I need to become. But I am enough. I don't need to get I don't need anything from the outside to make me qualified to be enough. And so that's one thing I always want to say.
That's good. And, you know, and another thing that we as women, and it's just something that sometimes, and we say it's because of men, but we got to stop it, okay? We want to please them by the way we look. So we want to lose weight because we want the men to look at us. I need to get a job, a boyfriend or a husband. I need to feel and look like the people in the magazine or on TV. And a lot of times they don't know. They've got Photoshop on the magazine. They got these diet pills that they don't eat anything. And so we really don't know their story. Now let's go quickly to this part here, because we're going to have to get you this information up so that people can get more information based upon what they personally need. But tell us a little bit about what did you do after you got your mindset together? How did you lose that weight? And you kept it off, because it's been how many years since you lost that weight?
Yes, so I started just learning that, first of all, I changed from eating any processed food. I only eat organic food. So I rarely will eat anything that's not organic. And because I realized all those chemicals, just after reading what those chemicals do to our bodies, there's some chemicals that once you eat so much of those chemicals, they change how your body functions. And even if you try to lose weight, you'll not lose weight because they actually change how you. they change how your genes work, and that's a whole different story. But
oh my goodness, is that a
just
part
knowing,
of your session that you do? I gotta have you back for the women's conference too. You know, put that on your schedule because we gotta get breaking limitations. Here she is. Doesn't she look fabulous? I mean, y'all, breaking limitations. And then she's got all her information there. So write it down. It'll be here. You can go back and look at it and
yes.
contact her. I told her we're going to try to get together a group of women. And so all you ladies that want to go in with me, we got to get something together because I'm pleased with my weight, not because I'm trying to please Pastor, you know, be like what he wants to be. I want to lose weight because I want to lose weight, you know, so it has nothing to do with my self-esteem. It has to do with the health. I do want to get off the pills and the medication, and I just want to be healthy. So that new lifestyle, it starts with a new mind first. And I love my guests today too, because both of them are Christians and they love the Lord, and the Lord is a part of their change story. You got to have God in your life and believe. If he says that you're beautiful and wonderfully made, do that. But I also say, I know that God wants me to lose weight, not because of my beauty, because he wants me to be here a long time, to be able to work and finish my assignment. And if I'm unhealthy, this disease will take me out, and the high blood pressure. So let me ask you this before we leave. Do you still have the high blood pressure, or did it go away after you lost the weight?
Yeah, after I lost the weight, the doctors took me off. They started by taking me off one medication at a time. Then eventually my doctor took me off all medication. And then I remember while I was still working at my corporate job, my doctor the job used to be very stressful before I left. And so she had given me a prescription for the medication, but she told me not only to take it when I measure myself and the blood pressure goes up. And that's because I realized also just the stressful situation, when you're in a stressful work environment, you have to try and either change jobs or try to change, you know, there's some things, if there's something you can do to change. For me, it came to where I just had to change my work environment because I didn't like what I was doing and the environment was very stressful. It used to cause me, I was only on one blood pressure medication and I was taken off. And then because of just being in that environment, the doctor had to give me that prescription back. But right now I'm not on any medication at all. I just eat healthy, but I also watch what I eat, and I take my blood pressure almost every single day. The readings, I just take the readings every single day, and also just watch what I eat based on if things that have high sodium, trying to avoid that because that raises blood pressure. Oh my goodness.
And we as Black people, we like to do this
and
several times, just shaking the side. We haven't even tasted the food yet. We're just shaking. I'm like,
and that was me. So just like I had to find different things that like have maybe high potassium, just different things that I could have, like even drinking coconut water or just changing things that I want to drink and eat so that I could just make sure I can change my lifestyle.
Right. So in your sessions that you're doing or you're going to do that you have went through, are these things that you teach people how to change the lifestyles? Because I know you do the mindset first, and then are you showing them how to what you actually did, like certain salts that you can buy, certain sodium amounts, measuring and taking your levels and so forth, and being aware of what's going on with your body. I think a lot of times we as women, we just so busy working and working and working, and we know we don't feel good. We won't stop and lay down. We won't go to the doctor.
And that is really, so in my sessions we do have my coach, the one who coached me, she's very good with the foods and different things like that, so we do that together. I work a lot on mindset. My coach also works on the different foods and different things that people can do to change lifestyle, so we do that together. But then also what you just talked about, making sure you go for your yearly checkups, that's very important, because you don't want to, a lot of times people wait until someone has a heart attack or you have a stroke, and then that's when you realize this person should have been on medication or this person should have been changing their lifestyle for the last 3 years. But when you go for your physical every single year, then at least you know where you are and you know what you need to be working on during the year. So that's really important, because sometimes we are very good at making sure our kids go for all their little checkups, they go for all their vaccinations. But when it comes to us, we won't go for the mammogram, we won't go for our yearly checkups. We'll constantly postpone it.
But
and so we have to
just children. We'll make sure that they do it, but we don't do
yes,
it. So one
exactly.
of the first sessions we had this year was called self-care. And I really try to stress with all the women that are watching, take care of yourself. It's like putting that oxygen mask when you get on the plane. They say if the plane drops, put the mask on yourself first, because you can't take care of anybody else. And I have a couple of men that are watching today, and I want you to know that this goes for you too, because a lot of men are even worse than women sometimes. They act like everything is okay. They're the head of the household and they have no problems, but they don't want to share what's really going on with them either. Women will share more often, so we talk too much. That's because we'll share. And then it's men don't want to talk. That's because they don't share. They shut up, and that's why they end up dying sooner than women. They have strokes and heart attacks. Look at statistics. So men, if you're watching today, we're talking to you too. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, listen. Don't go away. We may have some other questions for you, but I want to get my other guests on here, and we really want to get more information about the different herbs and things that you can take as opposed to the drugs, because I know there's a lot of over-the-counter things that you can take that are drugs, but the things that you take, I believe, are they more like are they more natural, the things you took? Supplements, I think they call them supplements. Okay, very good. They're moving me along here. Okay, we'll talk to you in a minute. All right, my next guest is, y'all probably guessed it now, is Enrica, and she has a story to tell. Let's see if she tells us about. Hello, Enrica. Welcome to Tea Talk.
Good afternoon, Lady O. Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, I'm so excited. I know you have a wonderful story, and I'm so anxious to hear about you, and I know my audience is too. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. So I am a native Histonian. I went to North Shore Senior High School, went to Prairie View A&M University, also went to Texas Southern University. So I am an all-around Houston metropolitan area girl. I'm currently working as a pharmacist, and I have a secondary business where I help people create a legacy for themselves instead of debt for their families.
Right. I told her that we have a lot in common because, you know, I went to Texas Southern and Prairie View as well. And I also have my PhD. So we both have a lot. And I know that it was not easy and it took a lot of time. But what really kind of got me too is her two careers. She is a pharmacist. And so I told her, we laughed about it, but I was really kind of like, I want her to tell us some real stuff. Okay, with all these anxieties and things like this, I know they have medical things that you can take. Not saying anybody to take them, but we may need to know what's available. My aunt told me she was on her way to Houston one time, and she said they had to turn around and go back home because she left her nerve pill. She said, I looked at my purse, I didn't have a nerve pill. I said, Auntie, what is a nerve pill? She said, girl, you don't have a nerve pill? She said, everybody got a nerve pill in their purse. So if you're on this line, let me know if you got a nerve pill in your purse. What is it? What are we doing about anxieties for women?
That's right. Yeah. So honestly, this has been the biggest thing. Once the pandemic started last year, everyone, their anxieties heightened. And it was like, what can I do? So I'm actually the pharmacist who doesn't like for people to take a bunch of medication. Okay. So I was so excited to hear that Ms. Joyce was able to get off of those medications. She talked about mindset. She gave some tools that are so impactful, not just to everyone listening, but to me, because I am an emotional eater. Oh, honey, if I have a hard day, I'm going to go get those 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on the sesame seed bun. I'm going to have a Big Mac. I'm going to have a big old Coke and some French fries with a bunch of salt.
Y'all have fries.
It's going to be a mess, okay? So you weren't ready for that, I know.
Okay.
But look,
Just keep
Some
it real,
things
because
that
we all have it. We all have our special places we have to go to. I have to go to what's the little chicken place, the Cajun chicken place, Popeyes.
Oh yeah, okay.
Those wings and the red bean and rice. Okay, let's move it on. That's my place. I try to hide this stuff from Pastor. I put it in the trash can outside before I come in.
Yes. So definitely when people come in, they want advice about, what can they take? And so they look up all kinds of stuff online, and they come up with a product called Calm. Okay. So Calm is probably on the spectrum of least chemical based supplement that you can take, and it's okay. But honestly, some of those tools that Joyce was giving you are things that I usually recommend to people first line. So non-medication based therapies. They have an app called Breathe. Breathe is actually just helping you to breathe from your diaphragm that will help you with calming activities. Definitely exercise is a definite way to kind of calm the body. Changing what you're eating will actually help to change the chemical balance of what causes the anxiety. And sleep. Sleep is connected to serotonin. And serotonin is one of those things that's created in those anxiety medications that helps to produce this calmness in you. So if you're sleep deprived, then you're definitely going to have heightened anxiety because you're not getting enough rest. You're not restoring your serotonin. You're not creating that balance that your body needs to calm itself down. So I definitely say start with Joyce and get your mindset right, and then take it from there. Now, if you need to take medication, some people have clinical anxiety, where it can't be calmed by anything other than medication. Then take your medication, but make sure you're taking it as prescribed. Don't share with a family member, and don't miss.
Don't share your happy pill.
Right. Don't forget your happy pill when you go out of town. Make sure that you have it with you.
She turned around and went back to Dallas to get hers.
That's right.
She said she functioned.
Yeah.
So I said, well, take your pill, Auntie. Well, let me ask you this, okay? Because you just said something. Okay, so I know they do have anxiety pills, and you can't get them in the drugstore. You have to get them. I mean, like over the counter.
Right.
You have to go in and let your doctor prescribe them. And so if you don't need them, don't take them. But if you need them, because I know you just said that there is a situation where people actually need them.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you need it, take it, because, we want to be able to be around you.
Right. Because that anxiety can be crippling for a lot of people. And so, and then you have to start thinking about, I think she mentioned some of those factors. If you can remove things from your life that are creating these situations for you, we all believe that we can pray and we can do things, but prayer without works, I mean, come on, just leave that at the door. You're not doing anything if you're not working towards removing those things from your situation. And so make sure that you do incorporate prayer and meditation. Meditation is a form of prayer because you're clearing the mind and you're removing all those negative impurities and things like that. That's just of God, okay? So meditating and all those different things, and exercising to just get rid of this stuff. And I don't exercise every day, okay?
Right.
So don't
But
get me wrong.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, but you're right. Okay. This is one of the big ones for me. When you go through menopause, you don't sleep as well. I'm told, and because I didn't know why I wasn't sleeping as well. They said maybe it's because you're going through menopause. And I said, well, how long do you go through? Because some days, most of the time I sleep well, but there are some nights. I mean, I had a couple of them a couple of years ago where I stayed up the whole night. I was looking like a deer in headlights when it got to be 3 o'clock. It was 4 o'clock. And so my husband got me some melatonin. Do you recommend that, or is there anything stronger? Because sometimes that doesn't work.
So melatonin is something that we naturally produce in our body. So I don't have a problem with that. I care for things that are naturally produced by our body, but they may be out of balance. So melatonin, if it works for you, I definitely don't have an issue with taking that. Sometimes it just takes sleep conditioning with menopause, we are having a hormonal imbalance, and so the body is trying to regulate that. So your serotonin may very well be off, your melatonin may be off, along with estrogen and other items. So you have to think about, okay, is my sleep environment conducive to me sleeping as well? Am I spending time lying in the bed, like reading books or just watching television, things like that, as opposed to only using the bed for sleep and for relations with our husbands, because that can help with sleep too. So I don't know how real I can be
with our husbands. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, I can be
that'd
real.
be another stressful thing. But no, that's good. No, you know what? No, we keep it real. When we were doing the thing on COVID, we had a doctor on with COVID, and he said that one of the things that helps to keep you from getting COVID is to have sex. And I'm like, really? Oh my goodness. So this is supposed to be some scientific thing? I don't know.
I don't know how true that is, but
I don't know either.
Sure,
but
I'm
anyway,
sure most of America is willing to give it a go. We had a lot of people
who have
COVID babies, so it must have been something to it.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so what can we take women who are in menopause, because a lot of them are on here, and so what can you take, like for the sweating and the emotional thing? Are there some things, herbs or something over the counter, or what can we do? Help us out.
Okay, so they do have an over the counter that's it's a supplement that's going to help. So I want you to keep in mind that estrogen can come from other food sources. So if we have any vegans or vegetarians that use soy products or tofu or things that emit estrogen, keep those in mind before you use any supplements, because soy does have soy milk, and then
really? I didn't know that.
They will have estrogen.
The soy milk that you drink, and what else?
Yes, so many of the vegan products. So if you're, a lot of us have tried the vegan diet, and you have to just watch out for it, because they you can just read on the packaging if it's going to have estrogen in it, but mainly soy, because that's going to be a high source of protein for those indulging in the vegan diet. So you want to just watch out for that. But a supplement that is highly sought after, that I do support, is Estroven. And that one is available over the counter. You don't need a prescription. You can pick that up, and it kind of helps to calm some of those menopausal symptoms. But if it's not, then you definitely want to seek medical attention. And you can stop by and talk to your pharmacist about different things, but we don't circumvent you going to see your doctor. We want you to know that your medical doctor is your professional. You want to make sure to see them at your planned visits. As African Americans, I don't know why we don't like to go to the doctor. It could be a trust issue, but God created us with all our talents. So we have to keep in mind, we got to go and see those professionals.
Exactly. That's why they're there. So Estroven is something that's over the counter that we can get to help there. And of course the melatonin for the sleep. And so when do you know that you need to go to a doctor? Because I don't know anybody else really personally who's in menopause. We don't really share. So I mean, when do I know that I need to go get something from the doctor?
Okay, so I haven't experienced menopause myself, but I've heard it described as like an internal fire when you have those hot flashes. If you're having those night sweats, if you're having challenges sleeping, and you've already tried the over-the-counter, then now it's time to go and see the medical professional, because these signs are saying that my body may need some support in controlling what it is that's going on. And it's a natural course of life to, just make sure that we get to the next phase, which is hopefully a lot more enjoyable than previous.
Look I know what God was doing. God is saying, y'all too will be having children, okay? Because these children will kill you. You know, I had my little grandson over here, and I was trying to keep up with him. I said, now I know why they don't let old folk have babies, because when he left, I had the 2-year-old and the 9-month-old, and when they left, it took me 2 days to recover. So,
oh my gosh.
So that's why I'm menopause. Okay.
Okay. Amen. Amen. And our knees not set up the same as we get older.
Can't get on the knees. Can't take you a few times to get up. You trying to run, keep him safe. He is out the door. You know, if you don't hurry it up, time you get up off the floor. But but listen, I asked at the beginning if people could guess who had the MS, and so you want to tell your story, your testimony there.
Absolutely. So in 2007, I had numbness on the left side of my body. So I did a few tests at home. I was like, let me just scratch and, just see if I have any sensation like on my arm or things like that. And so I said, I don't believe I'm having a stroke. I didn't have any medical training at this point, so I didn't have a real idea of what was going on. But I immediately went to the doctor. And the doctor did, all sorts of tests, this, that, and whatever. By the way, I told you I'm from Houston. I was living in Illinois at the time. It was extremely cold. I was away from my mother. I'm the baby. So, all these things are starting to run rampant in my mind. You know how the devil just started to try to get in there. Yeah. Oh, girl, you finna die. I told you wasn't no God. All that kind of stuff. And so I started praying right away, and I made it to the doctor. The doctor was like, I need to send you to a neurologist. And I get to the neurologist. He does the same battery of tests, sends me for an MRI, and I get a call because at this point I'm waiting on results. I get a phone call, and he says, your MS looks like it's getting worse. And I say, excuse me?
Whoa.
And so at this point, I've had no medical diagnosis. I knew nothing. He told me come to the office right away. Explained everything to me, explained what multiple sclerosis was, and that I would be on medication for life and more than likely have some type of handicap or incontinence and memory loss and, just a whole bunch of things wrong.
I'm sure it scared you to death. Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. And
how old were you when this happened? How old were you?
I was 27 years old.
Yeah, out of here, 27?
27. So, I probably had different symptoms as I was getting, older. But, I was so active. I played every sport, basketball, ran track, I did tennis. I did everything. I stayed everywhere, did everything. I never had any challenge academically. So I had no reason to suspect something was going wrong with my body until that year.
Oh my God. So they put you on medicine, or were you on any specific things? Because do you still have it, or does it go away? What is it? First of all, we've heard of. So, what is it?
So multiple sclerosis is the easiest way I can explain it. There's scarring on my brain that basically disconnects in the nervous system. And so the body attacks itself. It doesn't know that it's not a foreign entity that's inside of me. So it's like, let me just cut that off, or let me kill that. And so it's constantly killing things in my body, which is how it can create like a, neurological failure throughout the body. So people end up not walking. People like, y'all remember Montel Williams? He got on the show and talked about how he was taking 6 or 7 medications. He had been suffering with MS for years. We also have one of our anchor people. Is it Deborah Duncan that has MS? I can't remember. But
no, it's Avenue. What's her name? Okay, I can't think of it right now.
Won't come to me right now.
Melanie Lawson. Melanie
Lawson. You're right. Okay. So, a lot of people can go through life with MS with no problems. Okay. I have what's called relapsing remitting. Relapsing remitting means that if I'm under high levels of stress, I can have a stressful event where I present with some type of ailment. So in 2011, I was dragging my foot because my stress level was so high. I was working in education. I was an educator for about 8 years. And it was just to the point where I'm broke all day. I got 2 jobs. I'm working on a master's degree, and I'm not making any improvements in life. You know,
Right.
It's just the same old, same old. So my stress levels were so high that it manifested in my body. And so that's how I know we have to have other ways to get through stress other than medication. Because the doctor very well could have said, well, take this, take this, take this. But what they did for me is put me in physical therapy. So there's the exercise, and the rate of improvement that I experienced in physical therapy. The doctor said, I have no idea why you're improving at the rate that you are. And I said, I do. I have no doubt that it's God.
Wow.
That is changing what you believe and what's going on actually in my body.
That mindset, you try to change your mindset again and do something about that. Wow. So we thank the Lord. So that's been several years ago.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
so you're doing well?
I'm doing absolutely well. I function every day. I work 12-hour shifts. I walk everywhere. I don't have any of the things that people expect for you to have. In fact, when I was in pharmacy school, I only had a handful of people that knew I had multiple sclerosis. And when we did our lecture over this disease state, my classmates looked over and they were like, you don't have none of that. No.
But God,
no.
but God. And, like I said, taking hold of that, you didn't receive that, because I can imagine when you first heard the doctor say, you're going to be this, and this is going to happen. If you receive that, you don't even have a ground to stand on or to start to work from. But you decided to fight back, and not everybody is successful, but thank God that you were able to fight enough to work. And you were young. I think that may have, I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but I don't know. What did he just say, that it was a miracle or whatever? Because I know some other people who've had MS and they didn't do well.
I don't think medical doctors ever say it's a miracle. In the back of their mind, I don't think they all believe in God.
Right.
But when they get to see the evidence of it, when they clearly know that you're on a path of degradation, that you should be declining with your health, and they just see that you are just still doing well, they have no choice to believe.
Yeah. They don't know what it is, so then they have to know it's God, because it's certainly not them, and it's not the medication.
Let you walk around as a testimony, or as a, just as an example that he exists, because he's not out here just performing miracles like standing at a pond or splitting a sea or things like that. He's performing miracles through each of us, and we have to speak up and let people know what he's doing.
Okay, wow. Well, we're almost out of time. I want to get this part into, because you have 2 careers, but I definitely want to get your story in there. I know that you're starting to do some financial legacy planning for families, and so tell us about that. What it is, and if you have her information, we can share that on the screen while she talks, Pastor Johnny.
Absolutely. So, so I work for World Financial Group, and what we do is we help people. We help families. Honestly, everything that we do is complementary. So we do financial strategies where we sit down with families and help them understand where they are and where they want to be. And we help to put programs in place that can help them do that. So we help you to make money, save money, and pay less on your taxes, because a lot of people are just getting eaten up by taxes at this point. And I don't think any of these things we learn, in elementary school. We don't learn them in college. We don't learn them in post-grad.
Especially us Black people.
Exactly.
All we learn is, when do we get paid? How much do we get paid? And as soon as we get it, we're going to go where we can spend it and get stuff.
And we put our money in the bank where it's not earning or doing anything for us. Okay. Wow. And although we don't idolize money, we do understand its importance.
Yes. You better respect money.
Follow somebody that's broke. Where you
Come
where
on
you trying
now.
to take me? I don't want to go nowhere.
I don't want
with
to
you.
go there. I know that's right. Well, listen, Pastor Johnny, did you get the information up there for me, or somebody get the? Is it a flyer that you have to share? Okay, they'll get it up in a few minutes.
They'll get it up. But I definitely. So what we do for families, we sit down with them one-on-one, and those that qualify, because we are licensed agents, we're heavily regulated through the state and through the federal government. So you know, we get a license to do what it is that we do to help families, because there's a trust level there that you have to have with someone if they're reaching out to you to help them with their finances.
Yes.
But there also
now, is it called World Financial Group? I see a board up here. Is that the name of it?
Yes, ma'am. World Financial Group.
So,
you may have heard, Leo, of Transamerica. Have you heard of them?
Right, I've heard of that.
Okay, so Big Pointy Tower in San Francisco. So Transamerica bought World Financial Group. And so the division I work for, the leadership division, is called Pinnacle Elite. And we are actually the third largest leadership division. So we train leaders to do the same sort of thing, because there's no way you can meet 7 million people in Houston, Texas with 1 or 2 people. You have to have other people who feel strongly about helping families to achieve their financial independence and stop using GoFundMe. And I just used GoFundMe the other day, so don't get me wrong. You know, I know that it has
its place, right? It is purpose.
We want to empower people to not have to do those things, but to have that security that they need in order to take care of their loved ones before, during, and after death.
Wow. Well, listen, I have really enjoyed talking with you, getting to know you. We'll have to get you back on, and some more people. They can reach out. Reach out if you need help, guys. To either of these ladies, they're able to help you. And there's so much more that they had to say. We're just out of time. But I have really been blessed by what you all have said and enjoyed it so much. We'll have to have you back. Now, next week, I want you to make sure you set your calendars, because we have our show next week is going to be very, very special. I have one of my very dear friends. Well, 2 of them are both of them are my very dear friends. They're authors, okay? If you wanted to write a book before, if you wanted to know how it's done, well, we've got 2 authors coming next week. Sister Marguerite King Mitchell, she is the author of Uncle Jed's Barbershop. And we read that book in all of our schools now for Black History Month. And she has been, that book is old now, but it's every year they bring it out and read it. So you definitely want to come get your kids on if they want to meet the author who wrote Uncle Jed's Barbershop, right? And then we also have another one of my very dear friends, Dr. Cynthia Carter, and she is a Christian book writer, and she writes a lot of things that are going to help you in your walk and development. And so we'll put more information up on the website, but come next week to hear about these authors. Now, not only do they have books, but they too have a story that nobody knows about that you need to come and hear about. It's going to encourage you. So thank you for joining the Tea Time, and help me thank my guests, that came today, Enrica and Joyce. You are such a blessing. God bless you. And I'm out. Take time to have some tea and enjoy yourself. You are worth it. And I will see you next Sunday at 3 for Tea with Lady O.